Hello everyone and welcome to Going 19 episode 22. In this episode we start part 4 of It from Stephen King, covering chapters 13, 14, and 15. I am Ed. With me are Allie and Amber. Let's start the show. Yeah, Going 19 episode 22, I think. Let me try it again. Going 19, episode 22. The apocalyptic rock fight. The book, what was that called?
The album.
And the smoke hole.
And Eddie's bad break?
I didn't do that one.
That's what I asked you yesterday, and you said, yeah, those chapters.
The first 3, I thought you said.
I said chapters 13 through 16.
Well, I can do it from memory if you want.
I mean, I don't care. That's fine.
Allie, did you read 16?
Yes, because I told her you said yes.
Oh. I guess maybe I should read my text messages more carefully. I don't know. I thought you said the first 3, but whatever.
Not at all. Chapters 13 through 16.
Right. Wait. Oh, okay. Maybe I was counting wrong. No, whatever. We'll figure it out.
I mean, we can do 16 next time. I don't think it's a big deal.
No, yeah, that's fine.
I mean, if you already read it, just at least we don't have to read that part for next time.
Exactly.
So it'll still only be like 3 chapters for next time because you already read the one.
Yeah. Well, plus the interlude.
Right. So it'll be 2 chapters and the interlude next time.
Wait, 2 or 3? Are we doing 16 this time or not?
Okay. We are not, but you have already read 16, so it'll be like doing 2 chapters next time.
Oh, yes.
Although the assignment for 2 weeks from now is 3 chapters in the interlude.
Thank you, teacher.
Right? No curve. All right. Any thoughts? Rock fight? I guess we're starting with.
The first thing I wrote down, and I don't remember specifically what made me think of it. I think they're talking about Pennywise feeding on emotion, but are Crimson King, Pennywise, and like Dandelo, do you think they're all the same kind of species? Because they all seem to kind of feed on emotion.
Pennywise and who?
Crimson King, and then I also thought of Dandelo, or I think that's how you pronounce it. But
yeah, I know exactly what part you're talking about because I did the same thing for Dandelo. I think
maybe not.
Yeah.
I just say maybe not as much Crimson King, but certainly it reminded me of Dandelo.
I mean, I don't know if it's a fan theory or something we just decided to make true or what, but I mean, Pennywise is from Toadash, right?
Yeah, I mean, when we get to that part in the smoke hole, it describes something. I highlighted it.
Outside of everywhere or something like that?
Yeah, he comes from outside of everything, before anything. So it's like, oh, you mean the in-between?
Yeah, never heard that before.
Take it that's something from Dark Tower?
Yeah, sorry.
Yes.
Okay, we'll move on from that, but I think, what was your point, Amber, that
Dandelo and Pennywise are probably the same species. They probably both come from Toadash too. Well, yeah, they do. Yeah.
I think they do. All right, so I guess we start with Mike. Yeah, every time I see Henry doing something to one of them, I'm like, I mean, this is not a normal 13-year-old. I guess he actually has lost his mind at this point, just like his dad.
Yeah, I don't think I realized that quite so much at the beginning, but like the more that we learn about his life and the more that we see other people recognize how insane he is, I'm like, yeah, he's not okay.
Yeah, he's starting to go, hold up, dude, this time.
These are not normal reactions that like a 12, 13-year-old would have to outside forces. So it's just like, what is... Yeah, there's something not right.
his dad beats his ass, and his dad's legitimately, insane. So, I mean, that's the behavior he knows, right? But but at the same time, he's taking it way too far.
Yeah.
Well, everybody in Derry is probably going through some shit. Like, it's not like it's a happy place.
It never was. I was just watching. I usually, when I read, like in the morning before the podcast, I put the movie on, the new one this time, and they showed Henry when he's trying to carve his name into Ben's stomach, and they're like two old people in the car riding by, and like they're screaming at him to help, and they're just looking at him, and they look away, and they don't do a damn thing. But, yep, that's Derry. They have
also.
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
I was just gonna say, like, we go in a little bit into Victor's like mind here too, and I'm like, I fully understand how like that group dynamic works, especially when you're teenagers and like one person can kind of, you have this fear almost that you have to do what they say, or the bad things will happen, but
like a hierarchy.
It still seems insane that he's like, whoa, like this is too far now, like come on, but all the other stuff has been fine.
Especially, it was Vic that wanted out, right? Like,
oh, yep.
Yeah.
Well, and of course, the other kid, that Peter Gordon, who wasn't with them.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Peter Gordon and the other guy, Moose. Like, why were you even there? You don't belong here. Get out.
Yeah, it's like this normal bullying is fine, but as soon as it gets to like actually bodily harm, Victor's like, hey, there's a moral ground that we're like crossing here. Maybe don't.
Lunch money's one thing, carving initials and stomachs is another.
But they've been doing more than stealing lunch money for a long time. That's my point. It's not like they've been doing light crime.
Yeah.
What have they been doing?
Just
like punching and general beating up people, but never to the extent of like breaking bones or drawing blood or severing appendages from bodies.
I think that goes partly at least back to Butch Bowers. I mean, that's what Henry knows.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But although I guess most bullies don't actually want confrontation, so most wouldn't actually swing at you unless they were cornered themselves.
Or unless they're insane, like Henry Bowers.
Well, that's what I said. You can see how Henry's starting to break with reality. He left reality a couple chapters ago. I don't know who's ever in it, honestly. First time we see him.
Go ahead.
What?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm good. First time we see him, he's crazy, I think. When's his first appearance? Is his first appearance in the night? No. It's Ben, right? That's the first time we see Henry? When he's trying to cheat off him and he's...
I can't say that's the first time, but I think that's the first time we hear about him bullying them.
Right, okay. So, I mean, he was a little normal in the very beginning, but it went downhill really fast.
I don't even think that was normal, that he should... Because Ben was afraid for his life because he didn't let him cheat off of him.
That's true. Seems like an overreaction.
That's what I was about to say, is he has such a short fuse, and obviously he's not going to take responsibility for anything he does, so it's just like, it's a horrible, bad, like, oh my god, I would say combination, but like one that's about to explode.
He's definitely exploding.
I also like
anything?
that. I was gonna say King. I think it's Peter Gordon that actually says it. Maybe it's Victor, but where he says "too far" in all caps. Like that's the difference between normal bullying and too far bullying.
Oh yeah, that was Victor. When he was like, "You're not gonna hit him with an M80, right? Like you're not gonna actually kill him, right?"
Right. Yeah, the cherry bomb's okay, but the M80, well, M80 will probably kill him.
But King actually says like "too far" all in caps. Like that's how Victor's thinking about it. Like that's the line.
Well, at least he has a line, I guess.
Yeah.
Everything short of murder.
But he knew full well, okay, in a court of law, they'd still be guilty. He knew that Henry was unhinged and that he wanted to go after these kids and that he had these cherry bombs. So you can't say, I didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah, they're guilty by association, just by being there and not trying to stop it.
I almost feel bad for Vic because I know how that turns out for him. Like he seems partly human in this part. But not totally.
Yeah,
I'm surprised by that because I still feel no sympathy for him.
I felt a little bit. I felt like he wanted to get out, but then again, he didn't get out, and he clearly should have, and he knew it. So it's his own damn fault. When you know it's going bad, and you do nothing about it, then you can't complain about what happens.
Isn't there a quote about that? Like,
I'm sure
something about if you do nothing, it's just as bad. I can't remember what the words are. I'm butchering that, but
choosing not to make a choice is making a choice.
It's just as bad.
The Nebold Street Church School. Is there anything that's not on Nebold Street?
Yeah, I know. I just picture this whole town as like on one street.
Yeah, and a big old like the Marston House or the
Jackson,
Whitcomb
and Jackson
in the middle. Oh yeah, that's where the sewer is.
I know they say other street names, but I'm just like, okay, Whitcomb, Jackson, Nebold, that's all this town is.
If you look up a map of Derry, it really is like that's it. There's like 4 streets. It's not big.
Like Mike believed if his father had been well treated as far as he could see, and he believed that he would be treated well if he treated others the same way. The exception to this rule, of course, was Henry Bowers.
I'm surprised it's only Henry Bowers because Derry's not the nicest place.
Yeah, so Henry goes all full on racist. So I'm not even gonna like read any of that.
Yeah, there's a lot of that in these chapters where I'm like, it's hard reading, honestly.
Yeah, and I know he was writing it at a different time, and this is supposed to be even further back than that. But at the same time, that's just like excessive to the point of.
I mean, I get what it's the way they would have acted then. I get that, but maybe you don't have to be so realistic about it.
Yeah.
And again, in '86, maybe it was okay to say that. I don't remember.
Well, the thing is, he's realistic about everything, so I do think it's unfair to expect him to not be unrealistic about that. But yeah. It's not something that we do see, purposefully and thankfully. So to see it is very jarring.
Yeah, between this one and the both the books, the last 2 books we've read have been set in the 50s, so they're very racist.
Yeah, but like think about that one. Like it was awful to think about, but it didn't make me feel uncomfortable like this because that was written in 2011.
The racism in 11/22/63 didn't make you comfortable?
No, I'm not saying it didn't make me uncomfortable. Like I'm okay with it, but it didn't like some of these sections. I'm like I almost felt like I shouldn't be reading. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like it offended me that much, and I'm white.
Well, yeah. I mean, 11/22/63 is just kind of the way they were and molded about in society, where I guess you'd say it was an undercurrent of racism, where this one it's right in your face and he's mad and he like wants to do him harm, so it makes it that much worse.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like they're not. I'm not even gonna.
Well, I'm not saying that it shouldn't even be in this book. That's not really my place to say. I think it does serve a purpose, but it's not easy to read.
And I think too, it's like it's not just Henry. Like, yeah, Henry, his serves a purpose, but just the general undercurrent of a lot of the adults in the town has that tone, and it's just why. Like, what purpose does that serve?
I mean, this is only 30 years after the fire at the Black Spot, so I mean, those people are still alive, probably. The people that burned them all down.
It was 33, right? Or 29, one of them.
29, yeah.
Stock market was 29 too, so a lot of people were
For some reason, my first thought was, it was Pennywise's fault.
Oh, yeah. Maybe. He's been here for a million years at least.
That I didn't remember either. I'm like, oh, so we were trying to track from when he got there, like maybe thinking the 1600s. Like, no.
Yeah.
Much longer.
Before the written record, before man. Before
Yeah.
dinosaurs even.
Yeah.
Like who was it? Henry's dad had his tractor blew a rod. His good harrow got busted in the north field. He got a boil on his neck, which became infected. Had to be lanced. Then became infected again. Had to be removed surgically. Started using his Valley gotten money to undercut Butch's prices, so they lost the sale. I guess that's like stuff they sell from the farm. So yeah, that guy Henry's dad had a bad year. I can see why he's blaming everything on the neighbors.
No, I don't see why he's blaming everything on the neighbor.
I don't mean that it's okay, but I can see why they have the anger they do.
Right, especially being so ignorant.
Yeah, I mean, he's already racist, so he hates them for that. So, and then the fact that they're doing good and he's not, just feeds into it. And now you know why the dog died, I guess, because of all that. That's what all this really is explaining what got Henry to the place to kill Mike's dog, I think.
Well, and just why he was so angry at him, and like, I don't remember exactly how the rock fight chase started, but like he seemed like when he saw him, he wanted to kill him. Like that was it.
How did he get on Mike? They saw him.
They just saw him walking. Remember, Mike was walking to the rehearsal, and he had no idea that they were there, just goofing off or whatever.
Oh, right, and they were following him for like 100 yards or something.
Because he was like, "This kid is fast, so we got to sneak up on him." Like a hunter. It's awful.
Yeah. Well, and by the way, Henry is still the world's worst fighter.
Yeah. Right.
Every fight
he's lucky he has friends.
What'd you say, Adam?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said. You said world's worst fighter?
Yeah, as in every fight he gets in this book, he gets his ass kicked.
That's fair. I think like that also serves a purpose, though, to show, like, yeah, being a bully doesn't get you very far because you're still gonna lose.
Everybody still fights back.
Crime doesn't pay, man.
It was also just so awful. Like at one point, I think it was Peter Gordon. He was like, "Hey, man, you're not fighting fair." And I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Right? Yeah.
Even the character, I forget who it was, is like, "What? What do you mean fighting fair?"
Yeah. Mike was like, 1 against 5? That's fair to you?
Yeah, that's what the other guy. Or he thought it. I don't know if he said it. Like, yeah, if I'm in a situation where I have to like use physical violence, there's no fair. It's gonna be to win and get out of the situation.
It shows the absurdity of it. Like, obviously, Gordon and Moose had and they should have known what they were in for. I don't know. Maybe they don't know Henry, but they didn't know what was gonna happen.
Like when he sticks the needle in Gage's neck, he's like, "No fair."
Yeah. Oh, come on.
Yeah, I love that.
We just want to kill you.
Creepy and you almost feel bad for him. No fair. And that they mentioned that Noah's son Ham looked at his father again. They do that a lot. Is that this book where they keep saying that? That's why, like, people are. That's why black people are. I don't know what the word is. Second-class citizens, almost, because.
Yeah, they did bring that up in this book. I think it.
But this is like the third or fourth time, isn't it?
Oh, I just
like it
saw
keeps
that.
coming up.
I don't think it mentioned. I don't.
Like, is that something people actually believe? Because I think we've been hearing it a lot.
I've never heard that before. Except
I knew
for
the
this
story,
book.
but I didn't ever hear it taking that being the basis of a whole argument for racism, I guess is the way to say that.
I mean, I would imagine it's not a big leap to say that religion can, what's the word? Cause hatred?
Right?
Cause fear.
Cause genocide. Yeah, I mean, the story was something like he got drunk and like they didn't look at him, but someone did. I mean, in the book, and the Bible doesn't have.
It said blacks weren't as good as whites because Noah's son Ham looked at his father while he was drunk and naked, and Noah's other two boys cast their eyes aside. So the sons of Ham were condemned to be hewers of wood and drawers of water.
I guess a hewer of wood is fancy for woodcutter.
Yeah, I've never heard that hewer. Let me tell you the amount of new words I've learned from this book.
I think if I remember right, and I could be wrong, but I'm going to say it anyway, that one of his daughters had sex with him while he was passed out or something, and there was some kind of baby thing there.
I don't know.
Unless that was a different time Noah passed out.
It's all fiction anyway, so.
Right. Noah liked to Noah had a habit of passing out drunk, apparently, and naked.
And he was in charge of all of humanity?
Right? This is the guy that we trusted to get 2 of everything. And how big is that boat? 2 of everything. Does that include like gnats and mosquitoes? Like you could have left them. Maybe some of the alligators. I got way too many deer around. We didn't really need
But we
to
got
bring
stink bugs and cicadas.
Yeah.
them. We got lanternflies showed up from China this year.
Yeah, you guys have them bad in Pennsylvania. I haven't seen any down here.
I don't even know what that is.
So they
Yeah,
came off.
see?
They came off the boat in Pennsylvania. Is what you're saying?
They're like these like little, they call them Japanese lanternflies, right? They look like little moths, almost like red and white moths.
It looks like a moth with a big like red dot in the middle, which makes it look like a little like hanging lantern, because of the shape of the wings.
Yeah.
They were I'd never seen them before, and they're everywhere this year. Or they were. And I heard that like some idiot was smuggling their pet lanternfly over here, and they got loose, and that was the end of that. So it's
Who on earth
invasive-
keeps a pet fly?
Well,
Lantern-
being a little facetious on that. I think what they said, like it probably like got out and like attached to the side of the boat and just went for a ride across the ocean with nobody knowing.
Or like in a shipping container or something.
Right, a shipping ships.
Did you just see that meme?
Yeah, that's one of my favorites. That's years ago. And I have to read it like 12 times. Go, all right, yeah, they said it right.
Yeah, you're checking at each word. You're like,
Yeah.
still checks out.
I'm checking all the shippings to make sure they're necessary. It was like a shipping ship.
Anyway,
Anyway.
teach Heather too. Yeah. Heather.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
Moose.
I was just reading that part too.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
All of it.
I don't know, because Mike lives next to Henry.
No, yeah,
so
that's what he said.
Like he would have seen him all the time. Does he chase him every time he sees him?
I think, well...
Or did something
I mean,
happen
we have
right
to
before
go
that
back a
that had him mad already? I don't.
Yeah, I think something had him stirred up, but it doesn't take anything to get him stirred up, so it doesn't really matter. That's what I said.
Right.
He just, he's very quickly losing his mind.
I think his mind's gone, because he's willing to commit murder at any point so far in this book.
That's very true, yeah.
I mean, if he'd have caught Mike, I think Mike would have been dead just like that.
Oh, for sure.
And,
And
like-
Mike knew that too.
Yeah.
And Henry's all damn the consequences. He's not even thinking about consequences. He doesn't care. Which,
He doesn't care.
I mean, that's
I
why he
know-
ended up in Juniper Hill and not Shawshank, I guess.
We're not going to do that section this time, but do you remember what he does with the shopkeeper when he's about to hurt Eddie?
No. What do you do?
Okay, so nothing. We'll get to that next time. But Henry doesn't care.
Okay. You can tell me. Totally gonna get the clip notes.
He just threatens him. The guy comes out to try to stop him from hurting him, and he's like, "Shut up and go inside now." And he listens
Oh, and he
to
breaks
him.
his arm?
Yeah.
Well, and he shoves him too.
Oh,
Which
yeah, he
a physical
pushes him.
description of like a 12, 13-year-old kid being taller than a grown adult. I'm like, how big is Henry? Like, good lord.
Yeah, that's true. He must be pretty big.
Well, Mr. Keene. Well, no, he still had another 30
It's not
years.
Mr.
or so.
Keene. It's
thought
the
there was a
candy
drugstore.
store. Mr.
But they end
Get.
up in a drugstore. Doesn't Mr.
something.
Keene rat him out? Like he
That's
always does?
first. You'll read it.
Yeah, I guess
That's
I do.
it.
Have to brush,
Four.
guess I have to brush up on that. All right, so let's keep it going. So, the rock fight's coming. Oh, yeah, I wrote Dandelo and Chud. So,
Yeah.
Chud, Amber, was what I was saying. That book later that came out, they did a ritual of Chud near the end to get rid of a ghost or something. I'm like, wait a
Oh,
minute.
his book?
Yeah,
Oh.
the book is
okay.
called Later. So there's like a
Yeah.
paperback.
I think you got it for me, didn't you?
Yeah, I think I did.
Yeah.
Honestly, it wasn't that great, and if it wasn't Stephen King, I'd have put it down after like 5 pages. It was almost like leftovers that he couldn't get out of his head, so he had to write it out.
Yeah.
They do the ritual of Chud. Yeah, what?
But
The
he
book-
was sober when he wrote that one, so it's like, what is it with you in this ritual?
I think he likes a ritual where people laugh themselves to death. So yeah, the book said the others. You overlap tongues, and then you both bit in all the way, so you were sort of stapled together, and then you started telling jokes and riddles, and whoever laughs first loses. And I'm with Richie, isn't it? Richie said, "How the hell do you tell jokes with your tongue wrapped around a bit into someone else?"
The
no,
telling
Richie proved you could do it. Never mind, it was different.
the telling jokes and riddles made me think directly of Blaine from is that Wastelands or Drawing of the Three?
Blaine?
Wastelands.
It made me think of Dandelo, telling jokes until you die. I guess Blaine falls in that category too.
Yeah, except for his is like, don't you have to make him laugh to survive?
Dandelo or Blaine?
Blaine.
You have to stump him.
Oh, you have to stump him. That's right. Yeah.
That's why Eddie's jokes work, because they don't make no sense and there's no.
Yeah.
More
Dark Tower stuff.
Right. No spoilers.
I'll read it one of these days.
Yeah, we'll get to it at some point if you're still interested.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, real quick, one thing I said. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Beverly. Oh, and Beverly began to shriek with laughter. I think Ben screamed with laughter.
Yeah.
They do a lot of screaming and shrieking, just saying. Say like we need to do a fun stuff. Because I saw Chino Pants again. Never seen them anywhere but in a Stephen King book. Although I did see an actual pair for sale this week.
I was going to say, Chino Pants should not exist.
They're just like khakis, I think, as far as I can tell. Everybody wears them in Stephen King books. Sterile blackberry bushes to their left. Orange eyes staring at them. And Pennywise is staring at them with the rock fight. What the hell is a sterile blackberry bush? I don't understand that. So it can't reproduce?
No berries on it, maybe?
Oh, maybe.
Maybe.
Can't even really call it a blackberry bush at that point. That's the one in my front yard. Still don't have any blackberry. Just thorns everywhere.
Which I don't know why, out of all of the creepy stuff in this book, just the thought of these giant eyes watching them freaked me out so much. I just and like them having no idea that he was there. I was just like, ooh, oh no.
I think that's what it is because normally he makes his presence pretty damn clear. So like, yeah, this is like he's stalking them, which he probably does anyway, but we're not usually aware of it.
Well, he feeds off the fear and the anger, so he doesn't want the rock fight to stop, but he definitely wants to check it out. If he makes himself known, the rock fight's over.
Yep.
But yeah, I was reading that, going, oh, so Pennywise is staring at him, and then at the end, like each eye more than 2 feet across. Like, wait, what? Did I read that right?
Yeah, right. I had to do that too. Like you said, I can't believe they're. Yeah, it is creepy.
How do you not see? Yeah, so that makes some giant ass eyes hanging in the air, just watching them. That's like some Mordor Sauron shit there. You guys know what that is?
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. He's like a big giant eye every time you see him.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Mike starts to do the predestination. Maybe none of them were entirely their own masters in the events of that summer. Luck and free will played parts, then their roles would have been narrow. I don't really know what that part means.
Sorry, what did you say?
I said I don't know what that part means. Why would their roles have been narrow? Oh, because if it was up to them, they'd have got the hell out of there?
Or not.
Wait, what was the quote again?
If luck and free will had played parts, then their roles would have been narrow ones, or had been narrow. Oh, okay, never mind, I read that wrong. If luck and free will had played parts, then their roles had been narrow ones. Luck and free will were not much of a factor in what they had to do, I guess.
Well, I was thinking that too. Like, I mean, obviously this is being set up so that they can meet and help Mike. But like the fact that they tried to go to the dump first, and then they were like, "Oh man, of course he's here. Well, I guess we'll just go somewhere else." Like,
They
if the
knew they
guy
were
hadn't
going to the
been there,
Barrens.
if he hadn't been there, then they could have easily just been at the dump all day, and Mike would have died probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that at that point they already knew they wanted to go to the Barrens. I don't even know why he bothered trying to act like they wanted to go to the dump. There's dogs and Chopper and whatever the dog's name was.
It's not the body.
Right. Sick balls, Chopper. Henry was used to dominating and terrorizing the little shits, but since March he had been balked by them time and time again. Maybe that's part of the problem. They keep getting away, so he keeps getting madder and madder. Because they keep kicking his ass every time they have a confrontation.
Yeah, I wonder if it coincides at all with like sightings that they've been having and their experiences. Like it gives them maybe more confidence and like, like you're crazy, but you're not that as bad, I guess, even though it kind of is.
I like them. Yeah. And on this page, it says, what worried Vic, I'm paraphrasing a little bit, what worried him simply was this: Henry might go too far.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Okay. Yeah. Might go too far. Right. I think Henry already went too far several times. There's no he might go too far. He might go too far again. And that M80 would definitely, I think the Terry bomb, if you stuck in someone's pants, would fuck you up too. I don't know. An M80 definitely would be hospital or morgue territory.
I mean, he throws it at his face, like.
I like it. Was it Ben? Or Richie? Who was that? He just swats it
I think
away.
It was Mike.
Get that
Oh,
shit
well,
out.
that was the second. The first time he, like Mike, I know he tries to throw one of them in his face and he like barely misses it. But then, yeah, I like when Ben just like hits it right back at him.
Yeah, take that like badminton. I think that's what he says, like a badminton racket.
Yeah.
All it takes for Ben to get worked up is just to threaten Bev, and then he's invincible.
Oh, yeah, that's what it was. So they were following Mike until someone farted.
Oh yeah, and he heard
yeah.
them.
Moose farted and Mike heard him. So that's what I wrote down. I was like, oh, the fart blew their cover. So I thought it was rather amusing, considering what was coming next. Tiger. I like the fish that he saw when they were jumping on the rocks. Richie, I think it was. Or Eddie.
Eddie, yeah.
He said they look like oversized goldfish with the great ugly jaws of groupers. Saw teeth protruded. Huh?
Sounds like a catfish.
Saw teeth protruded between their thick lips, and like goldfish, they were orange as the fluffy pom-poms you saw on the suits the clowns wore at the circus.
There's another thing they mentioned later on as like orange, like the pom-poms of a clown.
Yeah, I think it's the next page or something. He didn't know what piranhas looked like, but he's pretty sure they didn't look like big goldfish with teeth. So I like that image. It almost makes you think of like fish with teeth, bright orange. You can eat it when you're done. I just
can't believe one of the things I wrote down. I was like, after everything that they've seen, they still want to play like make believe. Like, don't you have enough? Like, I don't know, weird stuff going on
in there to like remind you they are still 12 years old. Let's not forget.
Yeah,
because you want to judge their actions as adults. You want to judge them as kids. So, then again, I think this whole section with the book, that photo album, could have been skipped. Personally, it was like the same thing him and Richie did over again.
Yeah.
So that's a whole Cook chapter. That's the way I see it. It was enough to piss off the Pope. And he keeps going back and forth on this 6 and 7. Like, now there's 6 of them, one shy of the magic number. 7 is the magic number. 6 will have to do because 6 is all they had. Like, well, okay.
Well,
shouldn't you go get?
Have they said 6 will have to do in the book, or was that just in the movie?
There's a part, and I don't know if it's before or after, where they talk about 6 is what they have. So we hoped it was enough or something.
Yeah, isn't that like when they're adults and they're like, oh, we're one shy of 7, so we'll have to
Yeah,
try
I
and
think
make
it was
up
time.
for
That
standing
was
up.
at the restaurant. I think there was another time after. Yeah, whatever. If 7 is so damn important, then they're screwed. There's nothing they can do. They might as well go home. It's all Stan's fault. It always was.
Yeah. Well, and even
there it
after like Stan sees the dead boys and hears everyone else talking, and the fact that he's still like, no, 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 after the book part, it's just like, what are you not understanding here?
Right. It offended him. He didn't want it to fit in there. I love the way he put that. It offended him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The clowns and the birds offended him. Incredibly, he said, "Come on, kid, open the gate. That's not fair." What's your idea of fair? Mike asked. 5 against 1.
Yeah. Come on, man.
And then Peter answers and goes, "Fair up." Like, I guess that means open the gate and make it even again. And then he starts cursing at him when he doesn't.
One thing I said is, I'm like, Mike is so smart, because not only is he on the run for his life, but while he's running, he's like planning how he's going to escape or what the easiest thing to do would be. Like, I can't imagine how much terror he feels, but still to be able to think clearly. Like, I know it's fight or flight, and he's making it work.
Yeah. Well, and to
Yeah,
be
I
able
don't know
to
that I would
think
have
like
rational
3
thoughts.
steps ahead. Ooh, yeah.
Okay. What'd you say, Allie?
Oh, just like Mike's ability to not only realize what's going on in the moment, but to think like 3 steps ahead of like, oh, okay, so like I have to pace myself because I don't want to exert myself too much because this is probably going to go on for a while. But then like, what's my next step going to be? Where am I going to lead them? How am I going to trick them? Type of thing. Like,
Yeah, I'm lucky if I know where I'm turning next.
yeah, he's a sharp kid.
But few times I've actually been running, maybe not for my life, but for my freedom. You're in the moment. You might be planning as far as I could see me like planning is where can I hide? Where can I get to a safe place? Not I'm gonna do this, and that, and then when they come here, much way ahead of me in that.
Like, it's not funny, but it almost reminds me of like Wile E. Coyote.
Right? Genius. Wile E. Coyote. After he tells Mike he killed his dog, Mike's mad because of the dog, and he starts thinking, but if there was a hot spark of fury in his chest that had nothing to do with his reasoning self. He could understand Henry chasing after him when he got the chance, but killing Mr. Chips? My dog wasn't a nigger, you cheap shit bastard. Wait a minute. So if he was, it would have been okay to kill him? Because that's kind of the implication, right?
I think that's emotion speaking.
Yeah.
Okay. I read that. I was like, hold on.
No, that just, and also, I mean, I think it's just,
okay.
Like, he's like, come for me, fine, but my dog, what did my dog do to you?
Well, that part, yeah. Absolutely, I agree with that. But then he, like, follows that up with, my dog wasn't even, like, I don't know, like, it was okay to pick on him if he was black?
No, I don't think. I think he's using Henry's stupid logic.
Oh, that could be. Because that's definitely why Henry's messing with him, so.
Especially because the dog, like, my dog wasn't, you bastard. Why did you kill him?
You're right. Sick, Cujo. I can, he talks about the history of the gravel pit for a paragraph. I could picture everything he was saying. It was very visual. With the diesels came and the electrics. After the coal was gone, a local contractor dug gravel, but he went bust. Since then, the pit had been deserted. A spur railroad line still ran in a loop up the pit and then back towards the switching yards. The tracks were dull with rust, and ragweed grew up between the rotting ties. Same weeds grew in the pit itself, vying for space with goldenrods and blah blah blah. Like, I can picture that, like, grass-strewn railroad tie going, like, through the back of an empty lot. Maybe it's just me, because we used to play on a place like that when we were little. Although, so Mike hit him first with the coal. Is that right? Is that how it started?
Well, yeah, because he came up against the fence.
All right. This is for my dog, you bastard. This is battery acid.
I was thinking the same thing. You slime. Oh yeah, and this is where he throws it at his face, the M80. After he starts throwing the coal at him, and then he hung briefly by his hands and then dropped, rolling over twice. The scrubby ground sloped downward here, and perhaps it saved Mike Hanlon's eyesight or even his life. Henry had approached the fence and looped one of his 4 M80s over the top and went off with a crack.
Yeah, who gave that guy M80s? It does say he had gotten too big too fast to be the quicker agile, so he's a big dude. I don't know how big he is. Smaller than Moose. He was in a frenzy of pain and rage, and these lent him an ephemeral, unthinking physical genius. Okay. I don't really know what to make of that. So he was making all the right decisions by instinct because he was pissed off and hurt?
Yeah, I imagine like a tiger or something, I don't know, like a big animal.
Like a Tiger King? They just came out with like another series about that. Like, the story's
Season
told.
2 is coming out.
Yeah, I think it came out. Or maybe it was a preview. I saw something on Netflix.
I don't know if it's out yet, but I know it's coming.
Yeah, I don't know what else there is to talk about. All the relationships, maybe. I
guess you gotta watch to find out.
Yeah, I don't really want to. I watched the first one. Totally, I hope you understand. Pain always blooms when people get hit in Stephen King books too. The pain bloomed like a rose. The blood bloomed like a rose. Pain bloomed in his ear. They do a lot of blooming in their chinos and their shrieking laughter.
Yeah, I just like how they described Henry on the fence too as he hung there like a bloated, poisonous spider in human shape. And I'm like, okay.
I think I highlight that, yeah. A bloated spider, you say, huh? And human shape, you say. Maybe it was Pennywise and Henry.
I mean, it sort of is. We know that he's probably whispering in his ear behind the scenes.
He's hearing voices, that's for sure. Or at least he does later. I don't know about then. But yeah, Moose gets mad because he got hit from behind.
Maybe Pennywise is part of what's driving him insane, because maybe he's not a kid really. He's too much of an adult, and so he can't handle it.
Maybe.
It's a whole angle he didn't explore, the voices in Henry's head, the way they talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
Not that the book needs to be longer.
Yeah, right.
We could make another book for that one.
Yeah. It from Henry's point of view.
Right. The Voices of Henry Bowers by Dr. Sam Loomis. You know what that is? It's the guy from Halloween. Yeah. Basically, the kids beat the old people's ass.
I was reading this part actually at work, and it just made me so happy because, obviously you know that Mike's gonna get to them, and then they're gonna help him fight back. And when that finally happens, and he comes out and sees them all standing there, and they knew he was coming, obviously, so they're immediately ready to fight. And it's just it feels so right, and I was like, yes! I was cheering in my head, get up!
Yeah, as soon as they heard, I think the first cherry bomb or the first M80, Bill was like, nope, get down, start getting rocks right now.
Yep.
He knew what was that firecracker meant. I don't know how, but he knew. That's for sure.
I even have goosebumps now thinking about it.
Oh yeah, totally. Fuck you, Henry. And I knew going in how it went, but even if I didn't, I was thinking up to this point, Henry isn't able to fight for shit, so I'm not really worried about him messing anybody up too bad.
But he has firecrackers.
Well, that's true.
And he has friends who are smarter than him.
He should have threw 4 of them at once, and then it was rocks would have hit him because they would have been distracted. So yeah, Henry limps off, I guess. And Actually, they all left him there, right? Didn't he? Or was that just in the movie where he turns around and talks to them and they're like gone? He's like, gentlemen, there's nobody there.
Little of both. I think like Victor might still be there, like Victor and Belch, but
It's Belch and Moose who are left, I think, because I'm reading it right now.
Belch
He looked
says,
from the frantic ones of Belch and Moose. There was no help at all. Moose turned away embarrassed. Henry got to his feet. Yeah, I think it's just Belch and Moose at the end.
yeah, you're gonna wish you didn't cross Henry, kid. Belch said, "Come on, Moose." So yeah, I guess they
Which
were
is
left.
kind of funny that Victor is like, nope, see ya.
Hey, I mean, kind of feel bad for Victor. I feel like he had some qualities that may have been redeemed later in life.
Yeah.
No,
I
I'm
feel like
sorry,
he was
he's
the smart one of that group.
Yeah.
Okay, well, to be fair, I forget they're literally children. But I'm like, you're old enough to know that's not okay.
Not if that's what like that. You almost don't in Henry's case because that's all he knows. He gets his ass
If
beat.
anything, I feel most badly, yeah, for Henry. Like, especially hearing about like his dad and how like it almost makes sense that violence and racism are the only and hatred are the only ways that Henry feels accepted in this world.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only what do you say? Emotions he encounters. Hey,
Mhm.
you guys know anything about the Wheel of Time? Robert Jordan.
I was like as a concept or no.
There's like 13 books.
No.
It's coming on Amazon Prime, so it's pretty awesome. I'm excited. So I don't know if you care, but it's like medieval kind of stuff.
Oh, cool.
It's one of the authors I collect. So he's been like, I think the 14th book his kid had to finish because he died. So they're like he's like George Martin. He's not Stephen King where he writes a book every 12 seconds. So his whole career was like those 14 books. That's all he ever wrote.
Only 14?
Well, yeah, I mean, right? 14 more than but compared to Stephen King, that's a good year for him. No, I don't know if you're interested, but I would recommend checking it out. It comes out the 19th. I just saw a trailer for it before we started.
I was like, you're watching a trailer in the podcast?
Yeah, I could put the TV on mute. I was watching it. I almost left it on.
I think I want to finish the book before I watch the second one because I've now finally at the point where I said I started rereading it years ago and I have gotten past that point. So now I'm like, it's like reading it again for the first time.
Yeah. Did we agree to do a watch party when this was all over?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be cool. It'll be long if we're doing them both.
It will also... I wonder how much watching will be done and how much... No, wait a second. That's not what they did. They're supposed to say this.
Right. Can you pause that for a second? All right. Bill saved his life. And of course, they go back to Nebo Street when they are ready to face it. I love...
Of course.
I think it's because they know that that's a center of evil.
Yeah, isn't there like a stupid Morlock hole in the middle of the house or something that they climb into?
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, why is that even there? Why is there a what do you call it? Manhole, sewer drain in the middle of someone's house? Like, what was that house before it became it?
That's what I was about to say, yeah. I was like, well, I would imagine Pennywise probably put it there, but...
Yeah, I mean, well, maybe he built the house, or built in quotes.
He could have built the whole town for all we know.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I feel like he would have more power. I think they say at one point, like, is he scared of us or something? I think for one reason or another, he's definitely scared of them because you can't tell me he's spending this much time and energy on every kid in Derry.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think he can recognize the same way they can recognize that there's some other force that's also bringing them together to fight him.
So he's trying to get ahead of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like, how would they consistently be getting away from him, type of thing?
I think that's what he's wondering himself.
Yeah, right?
Like, what the hell, man? Yeah, he feels like Wile E. Coyote. Can't ever get the damn Roadrunner. I love Stan's severed head in the book. very interactive.
I was picturing it from the first movie. They do a good job of that.
Did he talk that much in the movie?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I like it. I didn't remember it being that animated or interactive.
And again, it's not funny, but just the way that the way that Pennywise says things, it is. I mean, I guess he is a clown. Like, it's funny.
It's so Tim Curry like he's such an iconic role.
Yes.
Like you almost can't see anyone else doing it after he did it. Like
Oh,
when
real
he
quick.
went.
Skarsgård was good though.
What was?
True. Different. Skarsgård.
He
Very
was. But
but
I
good.
still see Tim Curry. I like Skarsgård. He was awesome. That whole family owes their career to Stephen King.
Yeah. The other one is what is his name? Flag, right?
Alexander. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like Norwegian, like Alexander or something like that.
He was phenomenal. I loved his version.
Yeah, he was a good Flag. I wish we could have done. They would have done more with that whole thing. That should have been like a 5-season TV show.
I agree.
Did you see The Stand, Allie? The new one?
No.
Streaming now on Paramount Plus.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks,
I
spokeswoman.
recorded every episode and then canceled my subscription. All right, so now we're on to the book, the photo album. I'm not sure.
One thing, real quick, I highlighted. I don't know if he was thinking about it or not, but it's for me, it's on the next page, like chapter 14. But and then it starts. The only thing that really remains is to finish going through it, to complete the job of catching up, of stapling past to present so that the strip of experience forms some half-assed kind of wheel. Yes, Mike thinks tonight the job is to make the wheel. Tomorrow we can see if it still turns. Like, ah.
Yeah, I like the way he said that.
Well, it makes me think of
the wheel.
Oh my God.
The wheel of time. I just said that.
Well, no. What is it? What is the saying
Ka
from the Dark Tower? Ka is a wheel. Or yeah.
There's definitely Ka overtones in all this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to leave Allie out too much, so I'll just agree and move on. If you say Ka's wheel one more fucking time, take your fucking car and stick it up your ass.
I'm looking through to see if I highlight anything, but yeah, I think you're right. There's really nothing. This is basically like a repeat.
There's I'm looking at something in the beginning where they said, I think it was the last chapter. Broke his leg out couldn't play football for the last 6 months of his senior year or something. I think that was Moose. I don't remember who they're talking about, but it was earlier in this reading that happened to somebody. And I wrote it down. It must have been way in the beginning. That's the plot of Christine.
I don't remember what you said.
In Christine, there it is. He was a tailback his sophomore year. He was only kept from breaking the school's all-time scoring record by a broken leg halfway through his senior season. In Christine, the main guy's best friend breaks his leg halfway through his senior season. And then, they start working on the car because he broke his leg and can't play football, and, the rest is history.
Yeah. Cool.
So it was, I guess he must have known someone that broke his leg in high school because that character seems to crop up a lot. The thing I'll say about the book part, not the only thing, but they go on this existential rant, I guess I'd call it, where they're wondering how much Pennywise knows and how much he doesn't know, and they're like, if he knows everything we're thinking, or everything we're gonna do, then we're screwed. And I'm sitting here going, the dude can read your thoughts as you think them and manifest something related to that.
Yeah.
But do you really think he doesn't know, what you're
That's
planning?
what I was thinking. It's like, now you only realize this because you can see each other's worst fears. Like, he's still been able to see yours the whole time.
Yeah, they see him as theirs, and so it's interesting when like they all see him at the same time, and they all see different things. I didn't realize that. And then when Stan's head disappears, you can hear the air rush it back in with a pop. Like
Yeah, I
so
like
it
that
was
too.
physically, it occupied, space and time. It was matter for when it was there. It wasn't like some hallucination. I thought was interesting. I don't know what that means. I guess that makes it much more terrifying.
Well, I mean, just because there was a pop in the air, like there was blood all over the bathroom, and how much of it actually is real and is not? Like that's the weird part.
Well, according to the book, according to Bill, that's what it was, or whoever, Eddie, that there was a pop, like air rushing back into the vacated space.
Right, but they could have been an imaginary pop.
I guess seems like a lot of work to go through for stage presence.
Pretty sure he's got lots of resources.
A million years worth, right? Imagine what the Rolodex looks like after that. I don't know if it's lipstick or makeup, but it looked like blood. But this is where I first noticed he started talking about his upside down smile and how it looks like a scream when it's turned upside down.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a part where Pennywise is in one of the pictures, I think, and he's like doing a handstand, and it says his blood. He had waved slowly back and forth, his bloody grin too red and too wide. The scream turned upside down. But there's another part where he's physically upside down. I never thought of an upside down smile as a scream.
I guess if you like think of like the typical clown smile where it's like big white teeth and like open mouth, like it still doesn't really look like a scream, but it's more like that than a regular smile.
With the framed in the red lipstick or whatever.
Yeah.
Makeup. Still not sure why Mike saw the bird. And they're like, "Hey, have you seen anything?" He's like, "Yep, I saw the clown. I know where you're going with this."
Yeah, it's been there, done that. Well, yeah, he
Yeah.
already confirmed her with his dad, so
This
inadvertently.
is where he talks about it. He told them something else. Stan's idea was that nobody else could have seen the bird before Mike told them that story. Something else maybe, but not the bird, because the bird was Mike Hanlon's personal monster. But now,
That's what I'm talking about.
why that bird was the property of the whole Losers Club, wasn't it? Yeah, so he looks different for each one of them. But I don't think I realized. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, no, I cut you off.
That they could all see it at the same time, and it would look like 7 different things. Or I thought when it manifested, that's the shape it was, no matter who was looking at it. So the fact that they all see it at the same time as something different, I don't know. I don't know what that means, other than that's much more terrifying.
He's powerful, is what that means. Yeah.
Yeah, it make you sit down and go, "All right, we're fucked."
I mean,
time to move to California.
It's funny to me that, like, I don't know, that's the part I was thinking of specifically, where I'm like, what? So now that you know you can see each other's, you think he can read your minds? Like, how did you think he got the idea in the first place?
That he can read minds?
Yeah.
They watched them do it.
I know. I'm saying, because now Stan is like, whoa, Mike's bird is now our bird. Like,
right.
He can read all of our deepest fears. It's like, yeah, how do you think he knew that was Mike's fear?
Like you just figured that out?
Yeah.
Oh, how did you know? I guess because he told him about the bird.
Pennywise.
You know about the bird? Has nobody told you about the bird? Nothing?
Bird is the word?
It was my understanding that everybody had heard. Okay, so I watched Family Guy. Nobody knew what the hell I was talking about, apparently.
I didn't know you were referencing something.
Lois, I thought everybody knew about the bird.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It was my understanding that the bird was the word.
You didn't have to. That's why I said, "Oh, okay, enough."
I had to keep going. I couldn't stop. All right, so Jimmy Cullum, do I have this right? Floats right past their hideout.
It's like I think it said like 10 something yards.
I didn't picture the barrens having water deep enough to be rolling a body down it, or strong enough for that matter.
Body's
Maybe
so
Bill and Eddie apparently were right next to him and didn't even see him, because Richie, Ben, and Mike were laughing and they had to see what was so funny. Yeah, I mean, basically they pull
Oh,
out the
it was
book.
in the Kinduskeg. Kinduskeg.
Yeah. What about it?
It's a river. Of course, it's strong enough to.
Right, but the part
things.
they play at is very shallow, the way I picture it. In the way.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean it's not next to the river. Like the water has to get there.
Well, that was my original question. Didn't it float right past where they play?
I
you
don't
mean,
think it
like-
said right past.
Well, I think they had walked like down from the clubhouse to get branches or boards or something. I can't remember what they were getting. But so that they were traveling from somewhere
Yeah, they were.
when they passed it. It wasn't like like the clubhouse is not right next to the river.
Jimmy Cullum had chino pants. He was the one. Water rilled over Jimmy Cullum's muddy chino pants. Oh, okay. So they're building the fort. I have this right. The fort's underground, right?
Yes. Yeah. I was trying to picture this thing because I'm like, how do you have a window in an underground hole?
Okay. I was going to say, why is he measuring a window for an underground fort? What are you going to look
Yeah,
at? Worms in the dirt?
I don't know.
Well,
Maybe if you believe in the window, it'll work.
I thought of it less as a window and more of as like a skylight.
But is it on top? I guess maybe. But
I think it's on top, yeah. Because remember, Richie is looking out of the window when he's in the smoke hole and he has his head.
oh, that's true.
Glassless windows that would swing open and shut in two of the long boards. Maybe that is the roof access. Maybe that's exactly what that. Well, yeah, I didn't think it that way. But that makes a lot more sense than me wondering why the wall had a window in it.
Look at this pretty dirt.
Yeah. Anybody want to go
That's
fishing?
what I was picturing.
Let me get you
yeah.
some
I will be right back. I have to go to the bathroom.
Then we get a little bit of history lesson with Mike's book, I guess you would say. So 100 years, 1891, 1933, 1945. Pennywise is in every one of those pictures.
Yeah.
So that's a little creepy. Don't they say it looks like Bill or something at some point? Yeah. Fine. I thought it was weird. I like how, so I can picture this photo album totally because I have an attic full of these where you have the picture and then you put the like cellophane cover over it to keep the picture there.
Yeah.
So I like how like Pennywise came running at the picture this time and he was like face and nose smashed up against the cellophane. Like that was the only thing. And that's when Stan's like, nope, enough of that, and I'm closing it. Stupid Stan. Anybody got anything else on the photo album?
Not really.
Stan, Bill said, you saw it too. Stan's answer is, I didn't want to. Like, well, that ship has sailed, but it doesn't matter if you wanted to. And that's what I said. I was like, well, Stan sucks from the beginning. Like, no wonder they didn't kill it for good, because Stan wasn't even all in.
Yeah.
He was only sort of there. We need to, like, make a new It with only 6 people. I don't like Stan. I'm gonna have to talk to him about that. Beep beep, Stan said, and they all laughed. It was hysterical screaming laughter. Go figure. If I ever scream when I laugh, I think I might end up in the hospital. Or an insane asylum. I like how, I think, like I said it before, I think Stephen King has a problem with getting old in this book. Because he has a lot of things like that. You don't stop being a kid all at once with an explosive bang. The kid in you just leaked out like the air of a tire. And one day you looked in the mirror and there was a grown-up looking back at you.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry.
That crap, where'd you go?
Oh, I thought you heard me say I had to go to the bathroom.
No, I didn't. That doesn't mean you didn't say it.
Yeah.
So, all right then. We had another screaming, shrieking, hysterical laughter. Did you hear that one? So, did you hear me talking about Stan?
I haven't gone for the last 2 minutes, so I don't
I
think so.
Bill's telling Stan how he saw the whatever the hell it was. He's like, what did he see? The boys, I guess, the dead boys. He's like, you saw it too. And Stan's answer is, I didn't want to. Well, it doesn't matter if you wanted to, you saw it. So, like, what I said, Stan, or what I wrote down was that Stan sucks from the very beginning of it. Like, he wasn't all in. He didn't really fully believe. Like, no wonder it didn't die the first time, because they didn't have their 7. They had like 6 2/3.
Yeah, but it's not like they decided the 7, so that's the turtle's fault.
Right? Yeah, the turtle should have swooped in there and helped them out. Not every day you get a flying turtle coming to your rescue. Using his friends, risking their lives to settle the score for his dead brother. It's an interesting take. I don't know if I could expect anybody to do that.
Yeah.
His resolve is still strong, but it was a bitter resolve. Right? Isn't his brother's dead? Wouldn't it always be bitter? Okay. And I think is it Richie that talks about you don't stop being a kid right away. And the mysterious energy that they had as kids that's been gone, and now that they're back together, the energy's coming back.
Yeah.
No, it's not in a liquor bottle, but they all were drinking, curiously enough. I don't know what that means, other than Stephen King drank a lot.
I also like that he mentions he had done cocaine 9 or 10 times over the last couple of years. Coke wasn't something you wanted just lying around your house.
Yeah. I did it 9 or 10 times. It wasn't my thing. Okay. Seems like you could have figured that out after 1 or 2. Maybe it's an extensive study. So then Mike and Richie are the only go in the smoke hole, which seems like an easy way to get lung cancer in the next 10 minutes. Yeah,
that I understand that there's the turtle in play here, but I'm like, objectively, this makes absolutely no sense. Like, how did they even think to get this idea in the first place? And why would you think, oh, we don't know what to do, let's go see if we can have a vision?
Right?
I guess because you're children.
What could possibly go wrong? And then when they're like, Bill's like, no, someone's got to be outside, and then all the matches are blue. He's like, well, if we die, we die. It's not our problem anymore. Like, I still don't want that to happen.
I mean, I kind of understand that, because that was something I wrote down too. I was like, this intervention finally seems like good magic, so maybe you all should go down there.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, you almost have to when they were all blue, so somebody did something to make them all go down there. I don't see why. I don't know why they all had to go down there. What was the point?
That was my thought too. I'm like, wait, so if they're all just gonna leave, why did they have to go down there?
I like Beverly's like, great, I made that big stink over nothing because I got the burned out match anyway, and then it wasn't burned out. She was almost like, oh, thank God.
Why did she go? She should have gone first. Anyway.
Yeah. So they go back to like a million years ago, and they see the coming of the spaceship that wasn't a spaceship. I don't really know what he's trying to say there. Like a meteor. No, it wasn't a meteor either. Some kind of organic thing that came out of the sky, I guess is what he means. Didn't quite get that, but
I'm also not, I mean, maybe, we're not at the end of the story yet, but I'm like, what did they learn? I guess that it's ancient and like you're not going to be able to kill it.
Yeah.
That's what I was wondering. They went through this whole smoke hole vision nonsense to find out that it's been here for a long time. Was that really worth the trade-off?
It's like to find out that it's been here for a long time and it's not human, but like they already knew that. So
Right.
Yeah, I feel like it just made it worse. Like Stan's about to kill himself now. Like, oh great, it's been here a million years and we think we can kill it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, all you learned is that you have no chance now.
Right. You have even less of a chance than you thought you had.
But somehow then they come. Oh wait, well we don't learn that until next section. Never mind. Because then they come out with the plan of the silver balls.
Right. Bullets won't work. I think they talk about that a little bit in this one. Oh, they do the Stephen King thing where they're like, they have a plan, but we're not telling you yet. You have to read like 20 more pages to find out what it is.
Yeah. Or how the turtle's been referenced like 10 times, and yet nobody. If you haven't read this, you're like, who? What is it? What does a turtle have to do with anything?
Right? Does somebody have a pet turtle? What the fuck is going on?
yeah, it's like throughout the book there's been several mentions of turtles and spiders, and yet that means nothing until the very end.
Yeah, which is, why you have to read it more than once, I guess.
Yeah.
I think we were talking about that maybe, but like that it definitely leads to rereads because there's so much you just can't pick up on the first time because so much of his writing is foreshadowing.
A lot of this book is, if they hadn't done this, this wouldn't have happened, but they did, so read on.
Yeah.
Every chapter, I think, ends that way. Last night I was reading, and one of them was like that. If he hadn't something, can't remember what it was. Oh, he loves doing that nonsense. But God damn it, I'm gonna read it anyway. Just tell me. Who's that trapping upon my bridge? Can't showed up again.
Yep. I did not, Allie, until you said that. I never remembered that or noticed that, and now it's everywhere.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that was where this book came from. I mean, I was going to say basically, but no, that idea of the trolls under the bridge is where it came from. Go ahead.
It's such such a unique like representation, abstract almost. Like, how can people say that he's not a literary genius?
He's an imagination genius. I don't know what the word is. Not imaginary, but imagination.
He's imaginary.
I'm pretty sure he's real. Shit that comes out of his head.
Wow.
Like when he's Bill and he's talking about you have to try to frantically write it down before you forget it and get it all on paper. So Richie is it Richie or Mike starts noticing that Bill doesn't always stutter. And I had to go back and read the paragraph before because he's like, you don't always do it. You don't even know it. So Bill had a whole thing where, he's pretending he's a cop, which seems weird, but and he didn't stutter at all. So I guess what makes him stutter? So when he's having fun, he doesn't stutter? Was that the simple answer?
I mean, I definitely think it's
when
just
he's not
anxiety
himself.
related. Or that too.
What'd you say, Allie?
I agree. Anxiety definitely makes it worse. But when he's not himself, because at the beginning of the book too, when he was imitating Henry Bowers, he didn't stutter at all. And now when he's imitating the cop, he doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
So when he's pretending to be anything or anyone other than himself.
I think Richie says that. He says maybe you should do the voices, or you should be the one doing the voices.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Because every time he does a voice, he doesn't stutter.
Yep.
And he also, I mean, it's obviously not a secret that it's tied to Derry, but like he didn't stutter when he was away from Derry.
Yeah.
I should say maybe tied to his childhood, but
in a more direct way, I'd say Derry makes him stutter. So when he forgot about Derry, he stopped stuttering.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's nobody's surprised by that, or that he started stuttering again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Richie puts his glasses on.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Did they have tape on them? Oh yeah, so they're about to do the smoke hole. I thought I already covered the smoke hole.
The other thing about the smoke hole, I was like not really understanding the logistics of that because I'm like, wait a second, don't people die? I mean, they mentioned that in the book, but people die from smoke inhalation all the time. So I went to look it up, like, how did Indians do this to get visions? And I found out that wasn't really a thing. Like the only thing I can find about smoke holes is that they're like the top of the teepees to let the smoke out. And I was like, okay, what about visions? And the only stuff that would come up was Stephen King related to it. I'm like, okay, I shouldn't be surprised, but he just made that up.
Where the fuck did he get off just making shit up?
For some reason, I feel like he took the idea of sweat lodges and turned it into like a vision smoke hole thing.
Like maybe he went to a sauna and poured some water on the hot rocks and it steamed up, and he's like,
Yeah, but so then the original reason why I looked that up is that, like, when you die, if you're just sitting in a room of smoke.
I was thinking that as well. I think you would. I mean, if there's just an Indian ritual, I think the one that didn't die is the one that wins. Nobody walks out of there. Like, as soon as I started coughing, I'd be like, I'm out. See ya.
Well, in a way, yeah, no, it's just regular smoke. I was like, well, wouldn't the coughing make the vision better? But I'm like, wait, no, it's like fire.
Just so you know, you're not gonna have a vision and you're gonna die.
Yeah.
There's a Simpsons where like these people like, no, is it Family Guy? It's the Family Guy where they all turn into mutants and like Adam West rolls himself into toxic waste and he's like, oh, what were you thinking? Yeah, you have 6 tumors and you're gonna die. You're like, well, what's my superpower?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're back in 1,000,000 BC. They're about to see the coming of it. The animals start running past them. One thing I know.
Yep.
Sorry, microphone fell. If the animals are running, something really bad is coming, and I'm running with them.
Yeah.
What else? I'm not waiting to see what they're running from. I'm getting the hell out of there. I don't have to be at the front of the pack, but as long as I'm not at the back. Richie kept asking Mike, do you know where we are? You got the word? Did you get the word? He said that several times. I don't know what that means. What's the word? Besides bird.
The bird is the word?
I do know that the bird is the word. My understanding that everybody. There seems to be a piece missing about it. Like, seems to be an article missing about a certain ornithological piece. Something like that.
No, Peter, don't! Or no, he's like, no, Brian, don't!
Yeah. What is it, Peter? Brian, don't! Or Brian, no!
Yeah.
Have you seen that, Allie? I guess not.
Yes, I have.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I've seen the entire episode attached to it, but it's definitely, I've seen the clip where he's just like, a bird is the bird.
That's the Jesus one. Jesus comes back and he works in a record store.
Oh
yeah.
And he's like, oh my God, Jesus and his friend Peter, yeah. Because Jesus like gets famous and when he comes back and he like disses Peter and then he calls him to bail him out of jail. Anyway, enough tangents. I think so yeah, I didn't know what the word meant. Did you get the word?
I was trying to find that part real quick.
For me, it's
there's just no
right
I got
context to it.
Well, I do understand that, like, I guess this part is probably supposed to be kind of abstract because it's like their vision, and then you find out they're kind of teleporting or going back in time more rather than teleporting.
That?
But, yes.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, yeah. I kind of read it a few times, and I'm like, I don't know what you're trying to say here. I don't got the word.
Yeah.
Unless the only thing I can think is
if
because
he just said
then
bird is the word, that would have been awesome.
Right after that, you know, like how it has world in quotes, like maybe, I don't know. Maybe he's trying to say world. It's coming out word.
It seems like Mike's in control of this vision for
and then they switch to thinking. Like it goes from talking out loud to them thinking to each other.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're 1,000,000 years in the past, I'm not surprised by that. So.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think if I had to guess, I would say it has to do something with that, with them. He's like, are you ready? Basically, like, you ready to go?
Yeah. Did you
Like,
find out
here
why
we
we're
go.
here? That's how I take it.
Yeah.
Did you find out what we're doing here? Mike's Richie was in an ecstasy of terror because it was there.
Yeah,
An
because they kind
ecstasy
of
of
like,
terror.
he looks at him and he's like, "You want to say all right?" He's like, "All right." "You want to take out the word?" He's like, "I got it." I'm like, "All right." And then they both start floating. So it's like, here we go.
I love that. That's the float is so apt. Miles, he
Yeah.
tilted his head back and looked at the smoke hole. So white and wee, it was farther up now, miles up, Venusian skylight. It was happening. He began to float. I love it. Come on, then. Float. Like, I first remember we were disappointed. We were like, that's it? That's it for the floating? And everybody talks about
Yes.
that one sentence in the beginning. Like, actually, no. He keeps it going.
It's a theme.
Definitely. It's like the past is obdurate.
No, that wasn't even a theme so much as a problem.
Yeah, that was a Deus Ex Machina. Like, I don't know, man. The past is obdurate.
It's not even. Sorry, we don't have to get into this right now. But I'm like, you don't have to use that word on every single page of the book.
Right? Somebody like fucking Owen bought him a word of the day calendar or something.
Yeah.
If Richie makes it out, I mean, Mike says for a white boy, you did pretty good. One time Richie didn't know what to say. Oh, here it is. It came from outside. I got that feeling from outside. Outside where? Outside everything. And when it came down, it made the biggest damn hole you ever saw in your life. So yeah, as they're figuring out that they're screwed, it was here then, sleeping maybe, waiting for the ice to melt. Everybody see the thing?
Hold on, no.
It's the last page of the chapter.
What did you say?
Did anybody see the thing in the movie? Waiting for the
the
ice to melt for the monster to come out of the ice?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen a prequel, Amber? Have we watched
Yes,
that?
I have. I don't think we've watched it, but I've seen it.
Well, Brent.
I haven't heard
Yeah, I'm just kidding. You know.
No, I know.
Before humans showed up. What it
is like hatred and fear.
From
So what did it eat
for
the first
990,000 years? How did it survive?
I mean, it didn't.
If it was
Doesn't-
sleeping, though,
That's one hell of a
essentially, like,
hibernation, yeah, maybe you don't
It
need to
doesn't
eat as
have.
much.
I mean, nobody
when
said
you're,
he only eats off of humans.
oh, maybe they did. Maybe they
I don't
didn't.
know how much hatred and fear animals can have that are
Maybe it's like a
human,
snake
but
where
I'm
you
sure.
to eat every 10,000 years, or well, it was 27 years at some point, but I don't know when that started.
Well, that's what. Well, that's not what I was saying. I was just saying it. Maybe he was feeding off of animals before humans were here.
I mean, animals would definitely have fear because they would be like,
True.
predator prey.
Afraid of their life. Yeah.
My cat lives in a ball of fear.
Yeah. Yes, she does.
What was that?
Especially when a giant monster like us comes around.
Well, she shows up for you, not so much for God. 129. Okay, I'm supposed to be able to bookmark this shit to go right back to the. All right. That's the end of it. Anybody got anything?
No, I don't think so. It's a shame. I'm excited for the next chapter actually because that was my favorite of these four. Like you learn a lot, and I think I was very proud of Eddie, so I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, my bad. I didn't realize, and I definitely didn't read it. So
No, it's not your fault. I'm just saying I'm excited.
well, we'll get a good one next time. So next time we're gonna cover Eddie's bad break, the rest of the chapter, the rest of part 4, and the interlude.
Yeah.
Interlude.
Up to
Oh yeah. So that's not bad. That's like 150 for me. For you guys, it's a little less. You guys, it's Patrick Hockstetter's coming. I don't remember what the bullseye is. The
you learn
slingshot
a
and
little bit. Not really anything. You just learn that horrible things happen to him.
that's the silver slingshot.
Yeah.
No, I remember it. Yeah, I'm excited for Patrick Hockstetter too. I remember that being really awful. Okay, what is this? 20? Let's say 22. End of episode 22.
All right. Cool.
See you in 2 weeks. Everybody say bye.
Bye.
Bye.